started. We are holding on. Where are we holding? Good question. Yeah. Okay, yes. So we're holding on the bottom of Daf Lamed Tet. So just to recap very, very quickly, we're in the middle of Machloka, Abba Shaul and Chachamim. Abba Shaul held that Chalitza is preferable. Chalitza mitzvah Chalitza kodemet. Chachamim held that mitzvah Yibum is kodem. Let's pick up from where it says Man Tana Leha de Tanu Rabbanan. It's 2 lines up from where it gets very, very wide. You have it?
Yep.
Okay, so Man Tana Leha de Tanu Rabbanan. Yevamot yavo alea mitzvah. Torah says Yevamot yavo alea. That's a mitzvah. So this is a very cryptic braita. It says Yevamot yavo alea mitzvah. Shebetchila hayta alav bichlal heter. Originally, this lady was muteret to him. He could have married her. He could have not married her. Ne'esra, she became asura. Chazra vehutra, then she became muteret again. So yachol tachzor leheter harishon. I might think that she reverts to the same heter that she previously had. Talmud lomar yevamot yavo alea mitzvah. The Torah says, no, mitzvah. It's not exactly the same heter as she originally had. Mitzvah. So what does it mean? What's it coming to teach us? So Mantana Amar Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi Abba Shauli. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi says that this is according to Abba Shaul. And this is what the Braita is coming to tell us. There's 4 steps in the Braita. She was muteret. She became asura. She became muteret again, which I might have thought is like the first heter. And no, Torah teaches us mitzvah. So what's it coming to teach us? So Hachkamar Yevamot yavo alea mitzvah. שבתחילה הייתה עליו בכלל היתר, רצה לשם נוי קונצה, רצה לשם ישות קונצה. So the first stage was, she was muteret. If he wanted to marry this lady, he could have married her for the purpose of beauty. He could have married her with any kavanah. He could have married her. Nesra, stage 2, she became asura. Chazra vehutra, stage 3, she became muteret again. So yachol tachzor leheter harishon. I might have thought that she'll go back to her original heter, and you could now do yibum and marry her for the purposes of beauty and things like that. Talmud lomar yevamot yavo alea le mitzvah. That lamed is very important. The pasuk says yevamot yavo aleha, and the Braita is teaching us le mitzvah. He has 2 ways of being with this girl beforehand. He could be with her for beauty, or he could be with her, for marriage or whatever. But now that that she became asura and she became muteret again through yibum, so it's only le mitzvah. The heter is only if he's doing it with a kavana of mitzvah. Rava says, Afil tem Rabbanan. I could learn this Braita like Rabbanan. V'hachika Amar. This is what the Braita is saying. Yevamot yavo aleha mitzvah shebetchila hayta alav bichlal heter. Ratza konsa, ratza ena konsa. Originally, she was beheter, which means not that if he wanted to marry her for this purpose or that purpose, he could. It's just he could marry her, he could not marry her. He could choose whatever he wants to do. Nesra, chazra v'hutra, she became asura, then she became muteret again. Yachol tachzor leheter harishon. Boker tov. I might think that she goes back to her original heter. Ratza konsa, ratza eno konsa. That he could choose to marry her or to not marry her by yibum. So the Gemara says, what do you mean he could choose to marry her or not marry her? He has to do something because it's she's connected to the family. There's a zikah. So ratza eno konsa. Well, he could choose not to marry her. Ha'agida be. She's tied to him. She's connected to him. So bechdi tepuk. She's gonna go out with nothing. So ella ema ratza konsa ratza choletzla. What it means is, if he wants, he could do yibum. If he wants, he could do chalitza. Meaning, I might think he could choose whatever he wants. Talmud lomar yevamot yavo alea mitzvah. The Torah says yevamot yavo aleha mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. So we have a braita. We have 2 ways of learning the braita. The braita says that this lady was muteret, and then later on she became asura, and then she became muteret again. I might think she became muteret just like she was originally. Torah says no, mitzvah or le mitzvah. So what does that mean? So according to Abba Shaul, means I could have. There were 2 different ways for me to have, to approach this girl, to do this. I could have married her l'shem beauty or l'shem whatever I wanted to, and then once she became asura and muteret again, now it's only l'shem mitzvah. I can't do the yibum l'shem anything else, only l'shem mitzvah. That's how Abba Shaul would learn the Mishnah. That's how Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi goes according to Abba Shaul. Rava, the way he learns the Mishnah, he says that the Braita, he says that the Braita is coming to teach us that there is a mitzvah of Yibum. Mitzvah means I would have thought that, you could choose to do Yibum, you could choose to do Chalitza. No, it's telling you mitzvah, there's a mitzvah of Yibum. The way Abba Shaul learns again is not that it's teaching me that there's a mitzvah of Yibum, but it's teaching me that you have to have a kavana for mitzvah. If you have a kavana for any other thing, it's no good.
Is there chiyuv?
No, there is Abba Shaul learns that Yibum mit Chalitza is better nowadays because people don't have the right kavana. Okay, we have to fly because I have to go. We're missing 10 minutes. I have to go 10 minutes early. No, we'll try to see how far we could get, but I want to try to finish that one. Okay, so to get to the Mishnah on the bottom. So mitzvat chalitza, less than 20 minutes. Mitzvat chalitza, so mitzvah. So ema resha. So the Gemara says, okay, one second. Let me go to the resha of this Braita. The Braita says a similar cheshbon by a different mitzvah. It says, matzot te'achel b'makom kadosh, mitzvah. The Torah says, matzot te'achel b'makom kadosh. You have to eat this is talking about the Kohanim, when they bring the Korban Mincha, after they take the Kmitzah, the Shirei Mincha, the rest of the flour, they have to make into matzot and eat. It has to be matzot. So, shebetchila hayta alav bichlal heter. Originally, this flour was heter. It was chulin. Originally, when it grew, it was heter. Nesra, it became asura once it was donated for Beit HaMikdash. It became kochim. It became asur. Chazra vehutra. Then it became mutar again. Once the Kohanim took the kmitzah from it, once they took the flour for the mizbeach, then the rest of it became mutar to eat. So yachol tachzor leheter rishon. I might have thought it became mutar the same way it originally was. Talmud Lomar, matzot te'achel b'makom kadosh. Mitzvah. The Torah says, no, it's not the way it was mutar originally. It's a mitzvah. So what does that mean? So the Gemara says, Bishlama le Rava, Damar Amani Rabbanan. According to Rava, that learns this Braita like Rabbanan, so it makes sense. Hacha hachi ka'amar. This is what it's saying. It's saying, matzot te'achel b'makom kadosh mitzvah, shebitchila hayta alav bichlal heter. Originally, the flour was mutar, which means ratza ochla, ratza en ochla. He could choose to eat it, he could choose not to eat it. He could choose if he wants to eat it or not. When the flour is chulin, he could choose, I want to eat flour, I don't want to eat flour. He could have something else, he doesn't have to eat it. Nesra becomes asura, now he for sure cannot eat it. Chazra vehutra, then it becomes mutar again. Yachol tachzor leheter rishon. I might have thought that it could go back to its original heter, and he doesn't have to eat it. He could do it. If he wants to eat it, it's like it was beforehand. If he wants to eat it, he could eat it. If he doesn't want to eat it, he doesn't have to eat it. That's what I would have thought. The flour first was chulin. It wasn't kodesh. It was flour. Flour from the store. Yeah. Flour. Before it was donated for the Beit HaMikdash. Originally, flour is mutar. Then it was donated to the Beit HaMikdash. It became asur. Then once they took the kmitzah, now it became mutar for the Kohanim to eat. So I would have thought it became mutar the same way that it originally was, that you could choose to eat it, you could choose not to eat it. So the Gemara says, no, you can't say that. Ratza ochla, ratza ein ochla, ratza ein ochla, you could choose not to eat it. V'aktiv, v'achlu otam asher kupar bahem. The Torah says that, in order for the kapara to happen, has to be eaten. So milamed she'ha kohanim ochlim u'ba'alim mitkaparin. When the Kohanim eat, that's when the kapara happens. So the Kohanim have to eat. So ela ratza hu ochla, ratza kohen acher ochla. So the Gemara says, no, what I mean is, I would have thought when he takes the kmitzah and it becomes muteret again, so if he wants to eat it, he could eat it. If he wants to give it to another kohen to eat, another kohen will eat. As long as it's being eaten, it doesn't matter. But he could choose if he wants to have it or not. Somebody else could have it. So Talmud Lomar, matzot te'achel b'makom kadosh mitzvah. Therefore the Torah says, matzot te'achel b'makom kadosh mitzvah. That no, he can't just decide not to eat it and have another kohen eat it. Mitzvah, it's a mitzvah, he has to eat it. So Ela Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi. So that fits according to Rava. Ela Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi Damar Abba Shauli. But according to Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi, that said that the Mishnah that said that that Braita is going according to Abba Shaul. So Hacha Maitre Gavni. What two different ways are there? Meaning, the way Abba Shaul said it was the Braita that says it's a mitzvah. We had two cases in the Braita. One was by Yibum. That Yibum she was muteret, she became asura, now she's muteret again, and Torah says mitzvah. So Abba Shaul, the way he taught, I was just talking about Rava, the way he taught, he says She was muteret. I could have married her, I could have not married her. She became asura, now she became muteret again. So I might think the same thing. I could do yibum, I could not do yibum and do chalitza. So Torah says, no, mitzvah, you have a mitzvah to do yibum. So that fits very nicely with the matzah case also, right? This flour was muteret, then it became asura, then it becomes muteret again. Torah says, it's a mitzvah. So I would have thought that you could eat it, somebody else could eat it. No, mitzvah, you have to eat it. So that fits very nicely. But according to Abba Shaul, the way Abba Shaul learns the case of the Yevamah, she was asura, she was muteret, she became asura when the brother married her. Then she becomes muteret again when the brother dies. So I might have thought that you can do the yibum in different ways. You could do yibum for the purpose of noi, for the purpose of beauty, for the purpose of this. He says, no, mitzvah means you have to have kavanah of mitzvah. Mitzvah is telling me how to do the yibum. Not that it is a mitzvah, it's telling me how to do it. So over here in this case, what by the matzah, how do you learn that? What do you mean? It's teaching me how to do the matzah. It says you could eat it, you have a heter to eat it. It's saying mitzvah, it's a mitzvah to eat it. What do you mean? What two ways to eat it are there that we're saying that he's telling you, no, you have to eat it in this way? How does that fit with Abba Shaul? My Gavnik, what two possibilities are there that the Torah is telling us there's only one way? So maybe you'll tell me that if he wants to eat it leteavon, he wants to eat it, with a right, he could eat it, or achila gasa, he could eat it achila gasa. Either way, that's what I would have thought. And the Torah says no, mitzvah, he has to eat it not achila gasa. So the Gemara says that's not even a possibility. Achila gasa mishma achila. Achila gasa is not even considered achila. And listen to this. Amar Rish Lakish, achila gasa b'yom kippurim patur. Milot teuneh, right? The Torah says by Yom Kippur, kol hanevesh lo teuneh, whoever doesn't do inui, he doesn't pain himself through the chamisha inuim, through the 5 different things that are inuim, he gets karet. So Reish Lakish says somebody who eats on achila gasa on Yom Kippur, he's patur from lo he didn't violate lo teuneh, because achila gasa is not considered achila. So what two ways are there again to eat the matzot of the shiurei mincha, of the kohanim? Ella ratza matzah ochla, ratza chametz ochla. If he wants, he could eat matzah. If he wants, he could eat it as chametz. So Gemara says, v'akativ lo te'afeh chametz chelkam, v'amar Reish Lakish afil chelkam lo te'afeh chametz. We learn from there that we learn from a different pasuk that they cannot eat it as chametz. They have to eat it as matzah. So what are the two ways? We tried to say maybe you could eat it. I would have thought you could eat it b'teavon or achila gasa. No, achila gasa is not a possibility. I might have thought they could have eaten it in matzah or chametz. So the Torah comes and tells me no, only matzah. That's also not a possibility. We learn from a different place they can't eat it as chametz. They have to bake the flour as matzah. So ella ratza matzah ochra ratza chalut. So rather the Gemara says no. The two possibilities are you could eat it as matzah, or I would have thought you could eat it as chalut. You could eat it as something that's boiled first. The flour is first boiled and then made into matzah. Okay, so chalut ratza chalut ochla. So that's what I would have thought. And then the Torah comes and says, no, it's a mitzvah, only matzah. So hai chalut hei chidami. What is exactly this chalut, the chalita, the boiling of the flour? Matzahi, if at the end of the day it's considered matzah, so ha matzahi, it's matzah. What's the problem? Ve'lo matzahi, if it's not matzah, so matzot amar rachamana. The Torah said it has to be matzah. This is not matzah. So what's the hava amina that you would be allowed to eat this? You would be allowed to prepare the flour in this way. So the Gemara says lo lamin lecha matzahi. Really, when he boils it, it's considered matzah. Ulahachi tana bekra leakev. And this is why the Torah says it, to tell me that even though it's technically considered matzah, but it's ma'akev, and you have to eat it regular matzah, you cannot eat it chalut. You cannot boil the flour first and then bake it into matzah. So the Gemara says, ella, not necessarily. Chalut is not dumpling. It's not boiling it. It's putting it in hot water very quickly right away. You have the Rambam holds actually this is what you have to do to meat before cooking it to like trap the whatever's inside, and you put it in boiling water very quickly. So ella chalut the matzahi dekamrina lamai hilchata. So if you're telling me that it's not considered matzah with regard to the kohanim preparing the rest of the shirei mincha to eat, that chalut is not considered matzah. So that which we say chalut is considered matzah. So if you boil it first before making matzah, it's still considered matzah. Lamai hilchata. What halacha is that, like, with regard to what halacha is that being taught? Lomar she'adam yotzeh b'yedei chovato bepesach. Meaning that it's considered matzah if a person first boils the flour, puts the flour in hot water very quickly, and then makes, but it's technically considered matzah. A person could be yotzeh on Pesach with that. Alfapi dechalita miikara, even though dechalte miikara, even though he first put the flour in boiling water. Kevan dehadar aife betanur, since later he was afia betanur, he baked it in an oven, it's considered lechem oni karinabe. It's considered matzah. It's considered lechem oni. V'adam yotzeh ba yedei chovato b'Pesach. A person is yotzeh on Pesach. Okay, so that was part one.
Bagel, they do like that.
It's this is different. It's being
bagel. You make it, then you dump it to the hot water, then you bake it.
So you have to put meat into boiling hot water.
The Rambam holds that part of the koshering of meat is to remove the blood is chalita, is after, meaning to you've, after salting and everything, you put it in hot water to trap whatever's in there. And
so when you buy kosher meat,
the halacha is we don't have to do this. This is not halacha.
Oh,
this is the opinion of the Rambam. Teimanim do it, but we don't do it. Okay. Hacholetz livimto harehu ke'echad min ha'achin. So Mishnah says further that someone who does chalitza, he's like one of the brothers lenachala, which means if the Mishnah says, so there's 5 brothers, one of them does chalitza, he gets an equal Yerusha just like everybody else if he does chalitza. V'im yesham av, if there's a father, if the father is still alive, nechasim shel av. So Reuven, one of the brothers, dies. If his father is alive, everything goes to his father. If his father's not alive, it goes to his brothers. Now, if one of the brothers does chalitza, he doesn't get any more of a portion than anybody else. He gets same as everybody else. Hakones et yivim tov. Somebody does yibum. So zacha b'nechasim shel achiv. He takes over the whole Yerusha of the brother who died. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, ben kach uben kach im yesham av nechasim shel av. Rabbi Yehuda holds that if there's a father there, the guy who does yibum doesn't take the nechasim. It goes to the father.
So the woman doesn't have any control over the assets.
The woman, well, we had before what her rights are. That was in the previous daf. We spoke about the rights of the woman, what she's allowed to, I mean, if she sells, what she's allowed to sell. But in terms of Yerusha of the husband, that's talking about the woman's own things that she, like some Yerusha that fell to her or something that she, nechasim that she brought in, that she takes out. But things that are belonging to the husband, the Yerusha of the husband, that she doesn't, that doesn't go to her. A wife is not Yoresh, her husband. Okay. Okay, so it says the Gemara Pshita. It's Pashut. What do you mean? If a brother does chalitza, he gets equal portion to all the other brothers. The Gemara says Pshita. That's Pashut. I might have thought that chalitza is it's in the place of yibum. Therefore, if he does yibum, he takes over. If he does chalitza, he gets the whole nachala also. So the Gemara says, what? That doesn't make sense. It says in the Mishnah, Harehu ke'echad min ha'achim. He's like one of the brothers. It sounds like I would have thought he's less, and it said no, he's like one of the brothers. You're telling me I would have thought he takes everything, and no, he's really less. So it should have said Eno ela ke'echad min ha'achim. He's only like one of the brothers, not more. So ela sagadach min hoel ve'af seda miyibum liknese. I might have thought that we should give him a knas. Since he didn't do yibum and he did chalitza, and now nobody could do yibum, he lost the mitzvah of yibum. We give him a knas, we punish him, and we say, you're not getting any Yerusha because you did chalitza over here, and you stopped yibum from happening. Kamashwan, that no, we don't say that. He's like one of the other brothers. He still gets a Yerusha from the deceased brother. Im yesham av, if there's a father there, the father gets the Yerusha. Damar mar av kodem lakol yotzei yericho. That a father comes first when it comes to the Yerusha. First it goes to the son. If there's no son, then it goes to the father before it goes to any other relative. Hakoneset Yevamot. So we said if somebody does Yibum, he gets all of the assets of the mit. My ta'ama yakum al shem achiv amar Rachamana. V'arei the Torah says yakum al shem achiv, and he takes the place of his brother, and he took the place of his brother, he took his wife, so he takes his assets. He steps into the shoes of his brother, basically. Rabbi Yehuda said that if there's a father alive and a guy does yibum, everything goes to the father. So Amar Ula halacha Rabbi Yehuda. Ula says halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, v'chein, which means that this is gonna change at the end of the Amud, but we're saying right now halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, and the father takes the Yerusha, not the Yavam, not the brother who did Yibum. V'chein Amar Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha halacha Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha also says the same thing. This is not the halacha, but we're going to get to the halacha in a moment. V'amar Ula v'yitim Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha my time, Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha my time to Rabbi Yehuda. What's the reason of Rabbi Yehuda? L'chliv v'haya b'chor asher teled. So the Torah says haya b'chor asher teled. So kebechor, we're comparing the Yavam to a bechor. Ma bechor ein lo b'chayei av, av hainami ein lo b'chayei av. Just like a bechor, even though the bechor does not get anything when the father is alive. There's no Yerusha when the father is alive. So too, this brother, he doesn't get a Yerusha when the father is alive, even though he's doing Yibum. So ima bechor notel b'shnayim lachar mitat ha'av, av hay notel b'shnayim lachar mitat ha'av. So maybe I'll tell you, he's a bechor, so he should get a double portion after the father dies. He gets a double portion from the father, one for him, one for the brother who he did Yibum to. So midi yakum al shem aviv ktiv. It doesn't say yakum al shem aviv. He's not considered a bechor as far as the father is concerned to get a double portion. Yakum al shem achiv ktiv. He's just considered like one of the brothers. La shem aviv. So he's like considered like a regular one of the brothers. He gets a portion, just one single portion. Okay. Ema hecha deleka av lishkol nachala. Delishkol nachala titkayem mitzvat yibum. Hecha deika av delo lishkol nachala lo titkayem mitzvat yibum. So, okay, I might tell you but why don't we say that if there's a father, that the father is going to get the nachala, so then there's no mitzvah of yibum. The mitzvah of yibum is only when he's being Yoresh's brother. So Yakum al Shem Achiv, he's Yoresh's brother. He's not Yoresh the father for doing yibum. He's Yoresh the brother. So maybe I'll tell you, okay, that means that only when he's Yoresh the brother is there a mitzvah of Yibum. But if there's a father around to be Yoresh his son, then there's no mitzvah of Yibum at all. So the Gemara says, Midi Yibum Menachla Tal Rachmana. Yibum is not dependent on being Yoresh. Yibum Meyabme, he does the Yibum regardless of whether or not he's going to be Yoresh. V'i Ika Nachala Shikule. If there is a Nachala to be taken, then he'll take it. Ve'ilo lo shakil, and if not, then he doesn't take. Yativ Rav Chanina Kara Kame de Rabbi Yana. Yativ Kama Rav Chanina. He knew a lot of psukim. He said in front of Rabbi Yana, he said the following: Kama halacha Rabbi Yehuda. He said halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, that the father gets the nachala, not the yavam. So pok kari kariech lebra. Amar pok kari kari. He said, go take your teaching outside. Go take your psukim outside. This is not correct. Ein halacha Rabbi Yehuda. This halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda. And Rav Nachman. Someone came in front of Rav Nachman and he said, Ein halacha Rabbi Yehuda. He said, we have a teaching, Ein halacha Rabbi Yehuda. The halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda, and the halacha is like Chachamim, like Tanakama, that the brother who is Yoresh, he takes over all of the assets. So Amar Leh, so Rav Nachman told him, Ela Keman, K'Rabanan, what? Who else is halacha gonna be like? Of course it's gonna be like Rabbanan, not like Rabbi Yehuda. Pshita is Pashut. Right, Yachid Rabim, halacha Rabim. So halacha is like Rabim. So of course it's ein halacha Rabbi Yehuda. So Amar Leh asked me. He said, okay, let me this braita is extra. I'm gonna erase this braita. We don't need it because obviously you're telling me halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda. So I'm gonna get rid of this braita. So Amar Leh lo. Rabbi Nachman said, no, don't get rid of the braita. At halacha adniach. You first learned that halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. This braita was originally being transmitted as saying halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. And I asked you, I said, what are you talking about? It doesn't make sense. And we had to flip and adjust the braita and say it's ein halacha Rabbi Yehuda. Right? And now it's very good that we had to change it. Now it makes sense. But this braita shouldn't be erased because there's other versions, mistaken versions flying around saying halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. So bottom line, halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda. Halacha is like the Chachamim, and the brother who is Yoresh, his father, the brother who does the Yibum, he is Yoresh, the deceased brother. Okay, Chazakim Uvruchim.
See anybody says anything?